TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power. It's the day after Super Sunday here in Barbados. It's Monday, and you know what time it is. Time for TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani and Powerade. I'm your host, Anmar Goodrich Boyce, for this episode of TouchLine. Damien Best is in the producer chair. And joining me in the studio, I have head coach of the Barbados Under-17 national football team, Mr. Marlon Hart. He's also the head coach of Wharton football team in the BFA Premier League. And next to him, I have Khalid Lashley, who's the goalkeeper for the Under-17 team. And on this episode of TouchLine, we'll have so much for you, analysis and highlights. But before that, we'll take a break. TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune
TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power. Welcome back to TouchLine. Well, no time to waste. Let's get straight into the highlights from the BFA Technical Centre. BFA Premier League action at the Wildy Turf. Britain's Hill in the black and white versus St Andrew Lions, our first match. It was goalless at half-time, but in the 55th minute, the deadlock was broken. Kemar John finishes off the job. That's all it took. Britain's Hill defeating St Andrew Lions 1-0. Second match, Paradise in possession going up against Wharton. 19th minute, Paradise on the attack. Ball into Shaquan Clark. Left-footed strike, giving the keeper the eyes. That's the opening goal. 10 minutes later, Wharton were once again picking the ball out of their own net. Cross into the box, and Nicholas Best does the rest. Paradise 2 to the good. The score was 2-0 at half-time, so let's go to the second half. 62 minutes on the clock. Terry Rollock with a shot that takes a deflection. 2-1. But Paradise quickly restored their 2-goal cushion. Traore side Damandonka into the bottom corner. This was a game that took many twists and turns. This was the latest. Jamal Chandler, Wharton trailing 3-2. The game was far from finished, and the goals kept coming. Guess who? The road man back from Trinidad, Sharon Hoyt, makes it 4-2. 3 minutes later, Wharton unable to clear their lines. Hoyt pass 1, 2, 3 and finishes off the post. And Hoyt collected one of the easiest hat-tricks he'll ever score, like taking candy from a baby. Paradise went on to win 7-2. Let's go to the nightcap. Weymouth Wales in the green versus Ellerton. Goalless after 37 minutes. Before this happened, from defence to attack, Shane Codrington plays a clever ball into Shaquille Bell. First attempt was saved, but the rebound is priceless. Actually, it was worth all 3 points. Ellerton 1, Wales 0, the final score. Yeah, excellent stuff there. 11 goals on Super Sunday. The battle, Mario and Khalid, has really intensified in terms of the BFA 2026, the Premier League title. 3 teams now tied on 13 points. I believe Paradise, Ellerton, Kickstart Rush up in there in terms of the teams who are battling at the moment for the supremacy in terms of the title. Wales in the fight as well with 11 points, just 2 points behind those top 3 teams. We also had a game playing on Saturday, Kickstart Rush defeating Galhill by 2-0. So I think that's where we'll start our discussion here tonight. I'll start with you, Marlon. Kickstart having a very solid season, but Galhill seem to be having a bit of an up and down season so far. Kickstart will play against Bagatelle tomorrow. We had their head coach, Norman Ford. He was on the program last week. But how do you see that match shaping up?
You know, based on the season this time around, you know, you're seeing Kickstart with a lot of quality. Bagatelle with their fighting spirit throughout from their Division 1 season, and that they're going. So there's a team that can certainly battle. They're not going to make it easy for any opposition they play. But
Kickstart Rush and Galhill had the turf to themselves for this loan.
Yeah, we see this game here now, Kickstart Rush defeating Galhill. I'll bring Khalid into the discussion. He had so much to say when we were off here. Khalid, your thoughts on the BFA Premier League season so far from a player's point of view? I know you're not playing in the Premier League, but you're a young player who's aspiring to play at the highest level here in Barbados. What are your thoughts on what you have seen so far in terms of gameplay in the league?
Honestly, what I've seen so far is very good. I believe the league is starting to get interesting, fun to watch. Honestly, I made the young ones that are not playing in the league think about wanting to play in the league very badly because it's very interesting and competitive now.
Yeah, and from a goalkeeper's point of view, you're impressed with what you've seen between the sticks from your teammates and your colleagues?
Well, honestly, it's been really shaky on and off from some. Some have a good day, have a bad day, but at the end of the day, that's how goalkeeping is. One day it could be good, one day it could be bad, but you got to try and get as much as you can to be good days.
Yeah, definitely do agree with you. Marlon, back to the first game, which is Kickstart and Galhill. Do you see Kickstart as genuine title contenders?
I think they've proven themselves. They went to knockout finals, Prime Minister's Cup finals, so they've shown a level of consistency. So you got to give them the flowers there for sure. They have a lot of quality. They're still an attractive club, desirable club for players. So, you know, you can't count them out. It's unreasonable to count them out.
You think that they have the squad depth though? Because when we talk about the Premier League, squad depth is very important. We know during the course of the season, you know, players get injured and stuff like that. Squad rotation, as you would know from a coaching point of view, very important. Do you think that they have the squad depth in terms of, yeah, they may have relatively great players in terms of the starting 11. They may have good players on the bench as well. But, you know, it is that different type of players in terms of a nucleus that they'll have, but others too they'll need, you know, to more or less subsidize. You think that they have that depth in terms of a team? Yeah,
definitely. You know, they always lean on their youth program to expose players as well. So they don't lack for numbers, and you know, I think they're well coached, and that matters a lot too. But you know, I think they have enough resources to be a serious contender in the league.
Yeah, let's now move on to Sunday's matches. You know, a match more or less that you would want to forget. Paradise versus Wharton. Paradise were rampant against your team. I think Paradise now is, if we are being honest, they're one of the teams to watch in terms of this Premier League season. Unbeaten so far. They look good, look a good unit. Talk me through that match, Marlon.
Yeah, I think kudos to Mario and what he's been able to do in Dover. Mario now, my colleague in coaching, has shown his experiences now as a good coach. And then the infrastructure in Paradise, you know, it's still an attractive club to players. Was able to bring in a lot of players in December. And I think it's showing out, you know, lots of talent. You know, Gerard Otterson from the senior national team, a very competent player, has also been able to show his talents overseas. So anytime you can attract that type of quality to your club, you know, you expect to do well.
You mentioned Sharon Hoyt. Paradise so far, they've scored 18 goals. They have 13 points so far for the season. Sharon Hoyt returning to Barbados after a bit of a stint in Trinidad at AC Port of Spain. I know Paradise will be definitely happy to have him back. He's one of their main talisman in terms of the Premier League. We saw what he did in the Prime Minister's Cup that, you know, concluded late last year. But let's talk now about your Wharton team, and this is where I'll bring Khalid, because obviously you did concede 7 goals last night. But what is going wrong with your Wharton team? This definitely doesn't look like the Wharton team that we know. There's no Darian King. there's no love. There are a number of players who are accustomed being outfitted in a Wharton shirt. They're not there. What is it that's going around this season so far?
Yeah, so we had a good run in Premiership Cup. We were semi-finalists, and that wasn't by chance. I think it was a proof of the commitment and the the environment that was created for players. We've now lost about 6 or 7 starters from that team, and it's affected us in a tremendous way. But nobody's crying about it. We have to find the solutions. We brought in some new players in the just concluded transfer window, and we're seeing glimpses of what we can do. But I don't think we're quite. We haven't shown this season as yet to put a complete performance in. We've been glimpses of some brilliant moments, but we haven't been. But we continue to work as a unit. I think the players are willing, but we gotta be patient, and we can find a way to turn it around.
Yeah, and our excellent work here by our director, Roll Ford, in terms of rolling the highlights, and I'll ask Roll to roll them again for us, because I want to spend some time here on what transpired last night, and I'm going to bring Khalid into the conversation before we get back to you. But conceding 7 goals, what you thought happened there, Khalid?
Well,
from a goalkeeping point of view, of course.
From a goalkeeping point of view, the first thing you got to think of after you go at least 2-3 down is your mindset comes first. As you can see, it could be his mindset as well. He could start getting down, depressed, but as a goalkeeper, you can't be getting depressed in the goal bars because he's the last man back there. See here, little mistake behind the ball, gotta get in front of it. But mistakes do happen. It's just how much happen, how much can you work on. See here, Wharton worked well. Almost cleared it, but I thought he boxed again. Good finish, but I just said there, not much a goalkeeper can do about that, but Wharton tried their best to get back in the game. But here again, Paradise go again. See goalkeeper there, set, ready. Unfortunately, couldn't get it, but as you know, see, gotta get it there now, gotta keep heading game because football gotta play. The outfield players ain't gonna stop coming at you. You gotta keep your head on. Here you go, Jerry. Unfortunately, didn't get there, but it's all about the mind and putting yourself in place to get balls, keep the ball back in net.
Quickly, Marlon, before we move on, how do you turn this around?
I think we got kind of, Khalid suggested it, we got to be in a frame of mind to firstly believe that there's something there for us. I think if you go around by units, you look at a defensive unit, we've seen the mistakes, we've seen the areas that we can improve and focus on the improvement. Like I said, there are glimpses of who we can be and how we can play. And we want to focus on that and keep building on those periods of play to put an entire performance together. So go one performance at a time and see what happens.
Yeah, definitely. We'll be hoping that your team can really turn this around in terms of results for you. Let's move along now to what was the first game yesterday. British Hill defeating St. Andrew Lions 1-0. We'll spend some time now looking at that match. For St. Andrew Lions, if we look at the highlights here, it only took 1 goal to decide this one, a strike from Kimar John, a player that you know so well too, Marlon Hart. He played for you at Wharton. Here he is now in a British Hill shirt. And yeah, that transfer fee that British Hill paid for him from Wharton, I think it was about £35 million.
Close. Close. Yeah, Kimar is one of my favorite players. We wish him the best at his new club. But in terms of Lions, again, another well-coached team. Have proven itself already in Division 1. So the results may be a little shocking for the fans as it relates to them. They had good performance in the Premiership Cup as well. This is difficult. I think the margins for errors in the Premier League are a lot smaller than what you see in Division 1. But again, the team just needs to stick together. Trust the coach. The coach had gotten in there. And, keep fighting.
Khalid is more or less becoming our resident goalkeeping analyst. Khalid, I'll ask you about this one. Is there anything, when you look back at this goal, is there anything that the St. Andrew Lions goalkeeper could have done differently that perhaps he didn't do?
Well, I'll wait to see it one more time just to make sure that we got it right. But as you can see here, I can't really see him in the clip, but all you can do here in this position is just set yourself and get ready for the cross because you know he's going to come. He's set, well set, ready. Here he's hoping for a strike comes. There he relaxes a little bit, can't relax at all. can't relax at all. You got to be ready for it at all times because you ball come off your crossbar, you don't know where you can go. You just got to stay set, stay ready. And unfortunately, as you say, he was relaxed and he played and on the top of the box, top of the 6-yard box, just ready to lash it home, which was unfortunate.
You spoke about St. Andrew Lions, Marlon. I'll ask you this question now. Are you impressed with what you've seen from Bredinso this season?
I think, if you ask the coach, Mr. Ford, he may say that, he's happy with some performances in some games, but maybe not as happy. They're a good team, lots of quality, and they're a team that can be competitive. Maybe, considering, where they've been in the previous Prime Minister's Cup, they see themselves as a title contender, but realistically, there's opportunities for them to improve and be a better side.
Yeah, thank you so much, Marlon. Now moving on to what was the big match. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a match that was very, very, very big, as I mentioned before. It is a rivalry that we've seen now within the last 5 to 10 years in terms of Barbados football. Weymouth Wales versus Ellerton. And this time around, Ellerton defeating Weymouth Wales by 1-0. And it was their captain leading from the front, Shaquille Bell, a strike in the 33rd minute. Take it away, Marlon.
Yeah, again, one of our former players, Darian King, playing a nice ball through. But you see the persistence of Mr. Bell there. I think Ellerton, you can never count them out. They're a team with big pride, big commitment to do well. You see how the players here are celebrating because they know that they were up for the fight last night. They didn't give Wales an inch. You know what I mean? And that was seen in the overall performance. As I look again, you see a number of our former players there being represented in the Ellerton side. But there's some similarities in terms of the mindset of both the teams. Like Wharton is a team known for its bravery and taking on the big dogs. Maybe we don't have the quality as much, but similar to Ellerton, they don't give up. They're scrappy. They want to get into your face. They want to push hard for the victories. And I think they got due result last night.
Yeah, credit to Ellerton, of course, defeating Wales. And I know this victory, as you mentioned, and we could see here on our monitor, sweep for the Ellerton team, having been on the losing side of so many fixtures between these two sides. I'll ask you now about Weymouth Wales. Don't look the same Weymouth Wales that we've seen throughout the last couple of seasons. I see Khalid here shaking his head. I know, Khalid, you want to take the first bite of this cherry?
Yeah, I would like to actually, because as you can see here, they just look a little bit. The other Weymouth Wales that you see last year was not like this year. They look a little more relaxed here, a little like if they've already got it. And credits to Ellerton, a lot of credits to Ellerton, because every team, the same in the big leagues, when you're the winning team, everybody want to come at you hard. So you can't be relaxed, and every team gonna want to come at them hard. So if you want it, Ellerton wanted it. So as you can see here, they got it.
Yeah, Marlon, your thoughts on this Weymouth Wales team?
I think Wales, when you're the big dog, like Khalil suggested, everybody's always up for your game. You know what I mean? It's something that they should be by now comfortable with. Maybe they saw that they lost a lot of their leadership in Andre Applewitt getting opportunities overseas. Maybe that's affected them. It's kind of hard to say, but certainly they have the experience to sort it out. I don't think they'll be too far off the top because there's a lot of quality in that team.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the top, just 2 points separating Paradise, Ellerton, and Kickstart Rush. And mentioning over the points, let's have a look now at the points table. There you have it. Paradise, top of the BFA Premier League table after this week's action. Paradise, 13 points. Kickstart Rush, also on 13 points, sitting in second. Obviously, Paradise with a better goal difference. Ellerton is in the midst as well. Same amount of points, 13. There it is, Weymouth Wales in fourth on 11 points, just 2 behind the leaders. Bredinso sitting in fifth on 9 points. Pride of Gaw Hill in sixth on 6 points. St. Andrew Lions, they are sitting in seventh. They have 4 points. Bagatelle, eighth with 4 points. And UAE Blackbirds and Wharton, they're the two teams in the relegation zone right now. UAE with 3 and Wharton without a single point so far. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a break and come back with more on Touchline. Touchline, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade, Pause is power.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power. Welcome back to TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani and Powerade in association with the Barbados Football Association. And I have some special guests joining me in the studio. We've made a substitution. Marlon is out and Khalid, and I've brought in Tariq Barker and Ruben Garns Aline. Ruben and Tariq, first of all, congratulations, members of the Barbados Under-17 national football team. Barbados doing exceptionally well in Trinidad and Tobago, second in Group A, just behind Mexico, who actually qualified for the FIFA Under-17 World Cup. So this is a tremendous feat. You guys just missed out. Could you imagine that? A win versus Mexico, you guys would be heading to the World Cup, more or less creating history for Barbados. Tariq, I'll start with you. Share with me your experience playing in this tournament.
Honestly, it was a breathtaking experience. I mean, being so close but yet so far is honestly a lot to take. But this tiny margin really showed that one lots of concentration, it really harms you.
Talk to me about the preparation. How did you guys prepare from, on the field, off the field, mentally, physically? How do you prepare for a tournament like this, knowing full well that you're playing against teams like Mexico, Trinidad and Tobago, who were the hosts, and St. Martin and St. Martin? Tell me.
Well, honestly, we focus a lot on match sharpness, getting comfortable on the ball, off the ball as well, obviously, and mentally, we really focus a lot on handling pressure.
Ruben, I'll bring you into the conversation as well. You more or less dominated. Tariq played well. There were a number of players who really stood out for Barbados. Ruben, talk to me too. Same questions. What was the experience like for you, and how do you compare it? Because I know you're over there in Jamaica playing schoolboy football. Tell me about the experience in the Under-17 qualifiers.
Well, me personally, I had a great experience. The boys made it a lot better for me, like in terms of bonding with them, like off the field and on the field as well. It was a good tournament overall. Compared to Jamaica now, I would say the physicality is a slight tad bit different, because I'm not gonna tell you, like the opposition was not really that challenging. Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest takeaway from this tournament? I know you guys look back at this competition and say, hey look, if we had won this game against Mexico, we would be in the World Cup. But what would you say is the biggest takeaway, the biggest lesson that you have learned for your footballing career playing in this competition?
Well, against Mexico, they're ranked #1 in CONCACAF. You can't slip up against those sort of teams. You have to stay locked in for the entire game. That's what I took away.
What do you think, Tariq? What do you think this means for Barbados football from a youth level? I know the Barbados Football Association and the coaches doing an excellent job with you guys in terms of preparing. What do you think, results like this means for the sport here in Barbados, and the confidence of, younger football players at home watching this show, watching you guys? There's Ruben there on the screen celebrating, watching you guys and say, hey look, one day I want to play for Barbados, one day I want to go on and play and represent my country.
Well, honestly, I really hope that our success brings a lot of hunger to the younger players, showing what can be achieved if you really lock in and work hard and stay focused.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tariq, and thank you so much, Ruben. Let's now look at the schedule of the games coming up in the BFA Premier League coming up this week. We'll have a couple of games for you. There it is, Bagatelle versus Kickstart Rush at 7 p.m. That's the big game. And then Pride of Gaw Hill, they'll be taking on UA Blackbirds at 9 p.m. But before we go, how could we go without showing you our goal of the week? TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power. Goalless after 37 minutes. Before this happened, from defense to attack, Shane Codrington plays a clever ball into Shaquille Bell. First attempt was saved, but the rebound is priceless. Actually, it was worth all 3 points. Allerton 1, Wales 0, the final score. TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after. And Powerade. Pause is power. What a strike from Shaquille Bell of Allerton. Well, folks, that's it for our show tonight. It has been an excellent time. I'm happy to be able to bring it to you. Tariq, thank you so much. Ruben, thank you so much. Marlon, as well as Khalid, I beg your pardon. This has been TouchLine, sponsored by Dasani and Powerade. God willing, we'll see you next Monday for another episode.